The Alaska Tsunami Warning Center operates a network of seismic and tide collection stations throughout Alaska. The network includes 15 remote sites, 1 local site, and 1 test and development site. We begin our tour of the remote sites at the community of Craig. Located on Prince of Wales Island in southeast Alaska, Craig is home to approximately 1,500 people. This site provides both sea level and seismic data. The next site is Sitka. The ancient Tlingit village of Sitka was colonized by the Russians in 1741. It served as the capital of Russian America, and today about 9,000 people call Sitka home. Sitka was home to one of the first seismic observatories on Earth. Today, the sea level and seismic data collected here are sent to Palmer via dedicated circuits provided by the phone companies. Skagway is another vital collection point for our seismic network. Known for the Chilkoot Trail and the narrow gauge railroad that opened up the Klondike goldfields, Skagway today is home to about 900 people. The seismic data collected here is relayed to Palmer via a DSL circuit. As we progress north along the Gulf Coast, Yakutat Bay provides one of the few protected coves along the coast. This unique feature and the abundance of fish and wildlife made Yakutat an ideal place for native settlers. Today, Yakutat is a world-class sport fishing destination and is home to a year-round population of about 700. The seismic data collected here is transmitted over our satellite communications link. Middleton Island is located in the Gulf of Alaska and is home to FAA aircraft navigational aids and a National Weather Service Doppler radar. It is home to thousands of seabirds and marine mammals. Seismic data from this location is transmitted over the satellite link. The West Coast and Alaska Tsunami Warning Center in Palmer is the primary collection hub for our network. A seismic monitoring station located just up the road was one of the original 3 stations used for EQ triangulation when the Alaska Tsunami Warning Center was created in 1967. Our test and development site at Port McKenzie is used to develop new sea level gauging techniques such as the Tsunami Mobile Alert Real-Time Array and for testing of new telemetry techniques for collecting data. Currently, data is transferred back to Palmer via cellular modem. Old Harbor is at the southern end of Kodiak Island and is home to about 230 year-round residents. The sea channel in front of Old Harbor was exposed as the 1964 tsunami troughs arrived. We collect both sea level and seismic data from this site, and it is relayed via the satellite link. Chignik is a small community of approximately 80 year-round residents. This quiet location provides us with valuable seismic data and is scheduled for a tide gauge installation in 2011. This data is sent back to Palmer over the satellite link. Sand Point is located on Popoff Island in southwest Alaska. It is home to nearly 1,000 year-round residents and is another vital collection point of seismic and sea level data for the Tsunami Warning Center. Sea level data is relayed via 900 MHz radio to the seismic monitoring site and is then uplinked via satellite to Palmer. The Tsunami Warning Center maintains several sites along the Aleutian Island chain. The first one is located at the community of Akutan. Akutan is a small village of about 90 residents, but is also home to the largest seafood processing plant in North America. This remote site provides us with both tide and seismic data, both of which are transmitted over the satellite link. The next spot along the Aleutians is Amchitka Island. A Cold War nuclear test site, Amchitka is now deserted and supports an array of seismic instruments owned by the Alaska Volcanoes Observatory and a sea level monitor developed by the staff at the Tsunami Warning Center. Data is sent from the remote seismic network and tide station instruments via 900 MHz radio to the satellite dish, which then sends the data to Palmer for processing. Further west lays Shemya Island. This remote station is the first U.S. sensor that an agent tsunami would arrive at. Shemya sits adjacent to the 23,000-foot low point of the Aleutian Trench. The Tsunami Warning Center maintains both sea level and seismic monitoring stations on Shemya Island. The data is transferred to Palmer over dedicated circuits. As we move back to mainland Alaska, we come to a long-range radar site called Sparavon. These remote Air Force sites are well suited for seismic monitoring due to the remote yet accessible characteristics. Seismic data is sent to Palmer over the satellite link. Next on the tour is Mentasta Lake. Mentasta is a small community that found itself in the crosshairs of the 7.9 Denali earthquake in 2002. Locals still talk about the trees slapping the ground like windshield wipers on a car. This is another site where we utilize our satellite link to pass the data to Palmer. Catalina is approximately 20 miles from McGrath along the Iditarod Trail. Another long-range radar site, the remote nature of this station makes the seismic data collected here highly prized. The satellite link is utilized to feed the data back to Palmer. The last station in our tour, and the furthest north, is Indian Mountain. Indian Mountain is also an Air Force long-range radar installation. We collect seismic data, which is sent back to Palmer over the satellite link. The distances covered by the West Coast and Alaska Tsunami Warning Center network of instruments is vast. The furthest straight line east-west distance is from Shemya to Craig and is nearly 2,100 miles. That is equal to the distance from Seattle, Washington to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The furthest north-south distance is from Amchitka to Indian Mountain and is approximately 1,400 miles, or equivalent to the distance from Chicago to Havana, Cuba.